Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Corne, and the topic for today's video is how to stop wasting time on unqualified leads and then get the good ones instead. So first of all, this video here is for custom home builders or businesses within the construction space. We get a lot of architects and designers and development managers as well that we talk to. But primarily this is for builders. Now, if you're not one of those, feel free to watch this video. Otherwise, it won't be as much, it might not be as much value to you if you're, let's say, in a completely different industry. So first of all, I've got a few notes here on my computer, so I will be looking down every now and then. I just want to make sure that this content video flows really well and that the education comes across, because this will be so valuable for you if you are a builder, especially in that sales process with your clients. So first of all, I talk to a lot of builders. Now, these might be builders that are our clients already, and it's also other builders that I just have a chat with. Now, and they all struggle with this one thing, this thing within the business that people love, not love, but ask for quotes, right? And the general public, these people need to get multiple quotes usually in order to go ahead. Now, this is really bad for our builder clients because, let's say, for example, business are a little bit slow, business is a little bit slow. You might feel like, well, I need to quote every single project that comes my way. Now, a lot of builders that I talk to have a questionnaire in place. So what that means is, someone might inquire with them, and then the builder will then send them to a questionnaire page where the builder can really qualify them. Now, I love this process of lead or inquiry to questionnaire. It's a great idea, but I just feel like most of the time it's missing one small part, which will make a huge difference in really attracting the perfect type of client that you will create massive value for and that you will love working with in this project. So, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So first of all, I just want to draw out a little bit of an analogy here. So you might be getting leads, let's say from your website. So hopefully you guys can see this as www, or you might be getting some leads from Google. You might be ranked up there quite well. You might also get some leads from websites like House and so on, and another one might be Facebook. So these are all like the online kind of methods that a lot of our builder clients get leads and inquiries from. Other ones, are great. This is the very top with a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of builders, and that is referrals. So I'm just going to go ref. So that's referrals. Now, obviously, referrals are amazing because they come from, in most cases, from a trusted source. And these referrals might be, previous. I might map that out as well. So this might be like previous clients. It might be architects and designers and so on, and it might be other businesses in your industry. Okay, so it might be from, let's say, cabinet makers and tilers and everything else like that. So usually this is what I've seen so far. This is how builders usually attract their business. Now, these aren't the only methods, and we always try and give our builder clients other methods as well. That's not going to take a lot of work, but always having a look at the lowest hanging fruit first. But I'm not going to be talking about it in this video. Today is all about, I'm assuming you are getting leads right here, okay? So then what happens is these leads will generally come from, let's say, your website, okay? Where they will put in their name, email address, and so on. The other option is they might come from a phone call, right? So they might call you up. So those are generally the two methods. If they come from House, it'll be very similar to this. At the end of the day, you get an email, whether it's from your website or from House, and it says, well, there is an inquiry. Now, what happens here is, most of the time, there's a contact that takes place here. And this contact is usually email, okay? Or again, it might be the phone call here, but generally, if we're talking about pre-qualifying people, a lot of builders that I talk to send their clients or their potential clients to a questionnaire. Okay? So I'm not going to put the whole word in there, but questionnaire. And this is where they basically ask questions and the client fills out all the details. Now, with this process, it's a hit and miss. So a lot of the times, this is the client at the end of the day. Okay? It's not a smiley face, it's just like, yep, cool, whatever. So now you've got to think about it, all right? Why do people want quotes? So when they call you up, or when they put the inquiry in, might have a box here, like tell us about your project, and then they might say, well, I need a quote. I need a quote on this type of build. And we really have to understand why. And we have to put ourselves in the person's shoes that are inquiring. Now, there's a few things that come up. Number one, it might be the very first time for them when they build. They don't know how all of this works, right? Let's say, for example, this might be the first time they build a completely custom new house, right? They might have renovated in the past before, okay? But again, this is brand new to them, finding a builder that can take over that whole process for them. Another one might be they might have been burnt in the past, right? I might just jot these ones down as well. So number one, this might be the first time for them, okay? Second, burnt in the past with another builder, or like family might have been through the process and they've been burnt, friends might have been through the process and they've been burnt. So now they've got this whole preconceived idea around, yeah, builders, oh man, they just burn people. Which leads me to the next one. You know, if you have a look at the building industry as a whole, there's a lot of cowboys out there. So this is another reason why people have to get multiple quotes. The other one is, let's really go personal here. Well, this is probably the biggest investment in their life so far. Okay? In their life. Now, they might have bought the house or the land. That probably cost, let's say in some cases, especially here on the Gold Coast, the land will cost a lot more than the build that goes on top of it. However, the whole thing as a whole, it's the biggest investment in their life. And we're not talking about, you know, buying an online product here and then worst case scenario, you don't like the product when it's shipped and then you can return it. We're talking about people's homes here, right? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions and millions of dollars worth of investment. Number 5 is they don't know any better, right? Again, and this goes back to the first time, right? So they don't know any better. And again, this comes back to the first time. They don't know what the process should be. They might have been told by family or friends or blogs or whatever, yeah, get multiple quotes from builders and so on. And yeah, that's generally why people do it. Now, what happens if we go back one page to this qualification process that a lot of builders have in place? What happens when you try and qualify these people here, right, that are completely cold? You don't have a relationship with them yet. What happens when they get to the questions, and these are very, very hard questions. Now, you know what I'm talking about. When you qualify people, a lot of the time, you want to make sure that the questions are not fluffy. You want to get really good information from this questionnaire to, number 1, qualify these people, and number 2, know exactly what type of project they want and so on, to make sure that, number 1, you're the right builder for them in your mind, that you can execute this project, and that this is a project worthwhile to quote on, right? So that's it. So now this is a little analogy here. So I've been married just over 8 years right now. So when I first met my wife, right, let's say that very first week of meeting her, obviously you get to know each other, right? And you ask questions. Now, the questions that you ask back then is very surface level because you don't want to chase that person away by asking them a hard question. So as the relationship goes on, right, so what happened with me was, you know, I wanted to propose to my wife, and that's a really, really hard question, right? And when I asked that question, she said yes. And now, after 8 years of marriage, I can ask other questions, and I'm happy to ask any question that I want to, almost, right? So now, why am I saying this analogy? Well, let's take it back to the very first day when I met my wife. If I asked her, do you want to get married, right? Even if I say, do you want to get married one day? Or, that might chase her away, because it's like, whoa, I've only just met you. So now, this is why I want you to think about this analogy that I just told you about my wife in this questionnaire here. You can't ask the person in here if they want to build with you and so on. And that's just that's probably a bad example, but you can't ask a lot of, hard questions, because it'll just chase people away. Now, this means you've got two different options, okay? And the two options are, I might just write it down here. Option one is you ask mediocre, if I can spell mediocre questions, right? Because you're scared of chasing people away. Number two, you ask the hard questions. And what happens is, again, you understand these hard questions are essential, especially in this process. However, since these people are completely cold, they've only just inquired with you, they don't trust you 100% yet, they haven't had the chance to know you or like you. And what this means is you stand the chance of actually missing out on really, really good leads right here, right? People that you would have been able to work with so well if only you were able to build that relationship with them. Now, so again, the very first one, mediocre questions. Number one, you're not going to get any good substance answers from there. And you probably won't even be able to qualify people like that just by looking at it. So what that means is you're going to have to, get on the phone again and quote these people, even if they're not the right people. So in my mind, these are only two options you can do, and both of these are set up to fail. Now, to effectively qualify, you need to ask these hard questions. There's no doubt about it. What will it do? So if you ask these hard questions, it will stop the tire kickers. I think you spell tire like that. Tire kickers, right? The people that just want quotes and they're never intending to build with really anyone. It's just this dream. They probably watch The Block or whatever. And the second one is it will show people, so by asking these questions, it will show the people that intend to build with you. So people that intend to build with you, right? That you are a good builder, you provide awesome value, and that you're an expert, right? So equals good builder. And number three is, again, we don't want to chase away good people, right? So don't want to chase away good people. All right, so number one, it'll stop the tire kickers. People that it will actually, bring in those people that intend to build with you and don't want to chase away those other people. So the best way to do this is to really nurture the relationship. So if I go back to this process right here, the very best way, okay, to get these type of people is to nurture that relationship so that they are happy to answer those hard questions with you. So imagine this for a second. You get these cold people here, they inquire with you on your website or from house or whatever like that. And then imagine you were able to nurture the relationship to then send that questionnaire so that when they get that questionnaire, they have already built a relationship with you and they're happy to answer those questions. So again, this really means you need to nurture the relationship, but the thing is how? How do we do this? Because the thing is, from inquiry, right, to that questionnaire, that takes place in a couple of hours, and most of the time, a day, right? So how you're probably busy as a builder, running a business, talking to 1 million people every single day. It's crazy. I really feel for you guys. And then you have to, stop everything you're doing and go and nurture this relationship. So how do you do that? So this is how you do it. I'm going back and forth with these slides, but it's really, really important to get a lot of this clear. Okay? I'm going to go here. So the way you do this is, your story. Now, what does this mean? So your story, okay, remember, at this stage, these people, right, that are inquiring with you, they are probably researching 3, 8, even 20 other builders, right now. And what makes them all different to you? At this stage, in your inquiry, the person that inquired with you, in their mind, the only thing that's different is really nothing. You all just build, right? I think the only thing that really makes a difference is what projects you show. But in their mind, it's just all very transactional at this moment, and they just see builders being builders, right? And it's really your story that will really emotionally connect with them, okay? Really think about that. So it's your story that emotionally connects with them. And your story, when you emotionally connect with them, this is how you build trust. Again, you've got to remember, you only have a few hours, okay? So what is your story? So your story is personality, okay? This is where the prospect will experience your personality as the business owner, and also the personalities of the team, and also the personality of the complete business, okay? The second thing of your story is, where you came from. So where this business came from, So showing that whole origin of this is where we came from, this is why we do what we do, and everything else like that. The other thing is, it's the value. It's the value you've been able to create in the past for clients. And by the way, these are all elements of your story. It's your reputation. Okay? Your reputation is massive. Now, you might be an awesome builder with a great reputation. Right? Just think about that for 1 second. Again, these prospects don't even know about it yet. They don't know this reputation. They might have found you because of your reputation, but that's just one aspect, right? This is just one aspect. Number 5 is your track record. Okay? Now this goes back to the past clients in a way. So a lot of this will overlap, but again, it's your story. Number 6 is the type of homes, right? The type of homes you build, whether it's new homes, custom homes, whether it's big renovations, whether it's extensions, whether it's coastal style homes, whether it's Hamptons style homes, whether it's architectural builds, whether it's luxury homes, whether it's granny flats. Okay, it's the type of homes you build. That all goes within the whole story. Now there's a lot of different other aspects. So another one is what's most inspiring about you. What makes you different? Who do you help? Everything else like that. But again, at the end of the day, all of this comes back down to you want to create an emotional connection with these people. And why do you want to do that? You want to stand out from all the other builders that they are looking at, and you want to build that trust as fast as possible so that it advances the whole process. So, where does your story come in? All right, I've just told you that your story needs to create an emotional connection with these people, with these prospects. So where does the story come in? Well, at the end of the day, you can go and tell that whole story and have a beautiful presentation with all the different projects you've done. You can bring your team along, you can meet up with this person, right? And that is definitely not possible. That is not possible at all. In some cases you might be able to, they might come to you, but again, most of your team is on site. And everything else like that. So how do we tell this story? Well, in a 2-minute video, right? But again, the focus is on the story, not the video. You might have found a lot of people say, especially in the marketing world, yeah, you need video. Yes, you do. Like, I love video. But one thing you have to realize is that video is just the tool. It's just the vehicle, right? The vehicle for transporting something. And that something here is your story, okay? So don't go invest in video. I promise you it won't work. You have to invest your time and money into getting your story in front of these people, okay? I hope that makes sense, because video is not video. Video is just video, but story is story, if that makes sense. So where does this 2-minute video, this story, come in here, okay? So I'm going to put it up here. A little love heart, because we've got that emotional connection. How funny is this? I'm talking to builders about love hearts. Anyway, love heart, and that's your story in a 2-minute video that you do once, by the way. You do this video once. Where do you put this? Well, number one, you want to put it all over your website, and I'll tell you why in a second. But more importantly for this video, you want to put it here. You want to put it in this process here. So when people inquire, they might have seen that story, okay? They might have they might have that emotional connection with you already. That might have driven them to put in an inquiry with you. Okay, these might be people that would have never inquired with you, but because they had this emotional connection up here, right, or in here, on your social media channels and everything else like that, that got them to inquire. So what this means is you will get more inquiries from your website, okay, but not just more inquiries. Like if I get one good inquiry a day that I've emotionally connected with them and they intend to work with us, that is a lot better than 1,000 people coming through this process for me. And it's probably the same with you. Like, how many builds do you have to do? You don't have to do that many. It's all about attracting that quality client. So again, that's just by attracting the quality client. But again, purpose of this video is, how do you qualify, how can you better pre-qualify people to not waste time and get the good ones? Well, it's about putting your story in this little process here. And the way our builder clients usually do it is in an email, okay? Or when these people call, tell them that I'm going to send you an email with our story so that you can get to know who you're actually talking to right here, okay? And what this does at the end of the day is it creates a massive smiley face on the customers. That's a very, very happy client. It's the type of clients that you want more of, okay? So does this work? That's the question you have to ask yourself, because you might be completely new to this whole story thing. It's like, man, who would have ever thought that builders need to use stories to attract people? Like, I would have never thought about that. We literally we help a lot of builders, and we did it by accident, because back in the day, probably like 8 years ago, builders, we had a builder client, approach us, and he said, well, yeah, I need videos and everything else like that. Didn't even know about this whole story thing, and the story thing just happened by accident. Got some awesome results for him and many other builders, and now we help builders. So again, this might be the very first time. And the thing is, like I said, now we help a lot of builders all over Australia, okay, tell their stories to really build that relationship and get better quality dream clients that they actually love to work with, and chase away those ones that are really bad, right? And what I might do now is I'm just going to pause this video for 1 second and just show you a really a good example of one of these builders.
Finishing our story development session really gave us an insight into what our story will look like at the end, and visually how it was going to increase our emotional connection to our clients. Our process before we had video was get a phone call, give them a quote, write a long-winded email about how we can give them the best service, and then wait to hear back. Now it is, we find out about them, we send them a video with a thanks for contacting us, and we get a call back. They've already seen the website, they've seen the video, they understand who we are as a building company, and they're intending to build with us already. They've already taken that emotional first step of, we want Kai Construct to build with us. And so that process of going through leads is actually an enjoyable one, because the client is engaged just as much as we are engaged with them.
So yeah, there you go. I hope you liked that little snippet there. Just sort of, I'll throw you that little story in there. And you know, what's the next step? So I might just write it down here. So next step, what I would love for you to do is have a look at some of the examples and so on in the links below. That'll really give you, because you might be completely new to this whole like story thing, what do stories even look like? And that'll give you some really good examples of the stories, okay? And what I might even do is I might even throw in different industries in there so that you can lend some ideas from other industries. I always tell my clients this. You want to have a look at what other industries are doing really well to emotionally connect with their target market and then use some of those aspects. So I might throw in a few different examples in there as well. And then the second thing is story strategy. So one big reason why our clients engage us, especially our builder clients, is they are super good at what they do. They build beautiful homes. If I had to go build a house, I would be I would suck, right? So they are really good at what they do. Now we are really, really good and passionate about telling stories and creating stories that emotionally connect to our clients' target markets, to then attract those quality clients, right? So we're really good with that. We live and breathe this. We have created thousands of stories, okay? And one of our values in our business is to always, the story that we finish right now has to be better, like from a video perspective, from a technical perspective, better than the previous one. So that's how much we care. So what I would like to do is invite you to a story strategy session. Now what this session looks like is it's a phone conversation. You don't even have to leave the site or your office, right? You're welcome to come to our office here in Burleigh. We've got a real office where we can sit down and have a chat about this. Or if not, we talk to a lot of builders in WA and Adelaide and everywhere. So, you know, location is not a problem for us because this is an investment in your story, okay? And it's not just, oh, we'll get a local videographer. Go ahead, go get a local videographer. I promise you, the story won't get across. Again, video is just a tool. I don't even know why I'm blabbering on about this. So again, story strategy. So most of the time we hold the story strategy session over the phone. It's a 45-minute session where we get super clear about your story, okay? Where you are right now as a building company and also where you want to take it. Because with that, we suggest a specific story strategy for you. Okay? A lot of the times builders come to us and they say, well, I want to get here. So we create a story that shows people that you're on this journey to go there, which makes the story even more powerful. So that's about it. At the end of the day, if you want to, and I'll just go back to the headline. The headline is how to stop wasting time with unqualified leads and get the good ones. If you want to do that and you are sick of people sending in requests for proposals or quotes or tenders, right? And you want to start attracting those people that actually care about what you have to do and what you have to say, and they care about your time, and they see you as an expert, then what I would love for you to do is click on the link below, right? It's a button, you can't miss it, and book in the story strategy session with us, and I can't wait to have a chat with you about that. Have a fantastic day.